Next producer is so-called One Pro. His soul of this company is Mr. Salomon Istok, engineer, also flyer from early days. He started with aero models. Now he's producing own airplanes. You can see one on our co-pilot magazine. This is the
Thank you. First to Peter for inviting us, then for all of you that I will use some of your time. This will be very hard presentation to follow because it shows that you lived in US for 15 years and you are very thankful to everybody and grateful. Okay, my name is Istok Salomon. We started of some kind of a challenging goal to produce, maybe I should start here in slide 2. Since my early days, I was flying model of airplanes, joined Ljubljana when I was 14 years old, started as a glider pilot. Later, I sold in this ex-Yugoslavia region most of the airplanes that you could sell, because all the producers from either Europe or other, you see a Mooney airplane there. We were also dealers for them, and with these airplanes, I had experience together with my team because we had maintenance facility, we had flight school, we had sold in, I think, 7, 8, 9 years, we have sold around 50 airplanes. And with these airplanes, we got a lot of experience what works and what doesn't work. Of course, me as a pilot and an engineer was not satisfied with producer, played smart ass wherever I visited them. I said, this doesn't work, you should fix that, you should change that. Today, being a producer in certification, I know why they didn't listen to me, because it's impossible to change once you have type certificate. But nevertheless, I was young, and I said, I will prove you wrong and I will make my own airplane. In the path, I thought that this was a mistake, because we had several challenges on our way to become real aircraft producers. And then I have set a goal. First of all, at that time I got my daughter. She is here with me today, and ultralights were not enough to fly a family. So I wanted to travel, because I use the airplane mostly to commute, and I wanted to travel with family. So I wanted +1 or +2 seats, not a real one, because I don't believe that 100 horsepower engine can fly 4 people, 4 adults. So we have developed an airplane that has 2 + 2 seating, so you can fit 2 children, or if there is a young lady that doesn't weigh over 50 kilos, you can also put her in the back. And this actually works. With the turbo engine, this airplane has very, very decent performance that you can compare to any other sport airplane. How did we achieve this? I believe in wings. Since I come from gliding sport, we have a big wing. And with the big wing, you can have heavy load. Because most of the airplanes, small airplanes I have flown, they don't behave very well overloaded, and all the airplanes, or almost all the airplanes, except from few producers in ultralight and LSA category, fly overloaded. This is a reality, because all the airplanes that are coming from ultralights to LSA market have empty weight of 600 kilos, and then you come to having useful load of 200 kilos. Average pilot in US is 100 plus, so 2 guys, no fuel, no luggage. And we wanted to have a legal airplane. I saw two possible markets at that time. One was a young family guy who wants to fly children. Oh gosh, I was wrong, he doesn't have money. And second, I knew that there will be people who are either sizing down from Muni's Cirrus airplane, or older people. From my experience, most of the airplanes I sold were to non-pilots who had a wish to fly when they were young. They were 50 plus, 95 kilo plus, with a big wish and slow reflexes. So consequently, you need to have an airplane that his wife will like, because she is buying it, and that he will be still able to fly. So this was a big challenge to make. At that time, we were also looking to make the airplane interesting for the growing training industry, because the statistics I got, I worked on European project, is that Airbus and Boeing is selling more and more airplanes. So in the future, you will need training airplanes. And training on Cirrus is expensive, training on Cessnas also, because Cessna became extremely expensive airplane. So we wanted to fill that niche, and I think that our future is there. We are a young company. Today we are, I hope, a little bit over the red dot that Aleš had on almost every slide. I hope that we pass that red dot, but not much. So we will see what happens. I will not read this from, I just like to speak, and you can read from the slides. What is interesting is here, we decided to certificate this airplane into European VLA, not LSA, which gives us a useful load of 300 kilos plus. So it means 2 guys easily, plus fuel, plus some luggage. Or young lady, a guy, and a child, and some luggage. Or even in configuration of not heavy family, the whole family can go in the airplane. In every airplane that we sell is a parachute. This is not the idea that I got from Cirrus, but while flying, I have 10,000 hours plus in these small airplanes, meaning that I was in extremely stressful situations many times. When I was young, my judgment, of course, was poor. My wallet was not thick. It's even thinner now, since I produce airplanes. But when you are young, you judge either you will fly or not by... It's influenced if you have to pay a hotel for the evening. You probably save $100 or euros or whatever. When you age, you make much sounder decisions. But at that time, I was flying airplanes, and I would be extremely happy to have a way out of the situation, because I was flying IFR with an airplane that had only 496 GPS inside. So you have a turn and bank indicator, and you have a vario based on GPS, and you need to save your ass going through a cloud, which is stupid to do. But if you made a bad judgment before, you have nothing to do. Right? So I learned from this that, and from statistics, from examining why people die in airplanes. And they do die because of that, because of bad judgment that they make 1 hour or 2 hours before the accident. And why not giving them an option of getting out of this situation? So this is why I choose to have a parachute installed in every airplane. Roll cage means that the whole cockpit area is designed like a car. So it means if you will crash with the airplane into the wall, or if you will drop down with a parachute, you have extremely strong carbon cage that has Kevlar inside, and it's like a wound. So it means all the rest of the airplane will crash around you, which is now very easy to do, since we have definitive element and so on, and you can do testing on that, and it does not add a lot of weight to have a safe design of the airplane. Of course, there are trade-offs. You can not have a canopy that opens up, so the view here is a little abstracted. Here you don't care really about it. It's not so easy to get in, but you decide what you want to do. Single spar design means that traditionally wings are bolted into airplane of these small airplanes like a glider. So it means on the root rib you have two pins and you have a floating spar. You have two bolts and spar is not connected to the fuselage. We have so that we have a very strong part here in the spar area, and we bolt both spars we bolt to the structure of the airplane. Then we have the same on the rear spar, and we did not connect the rear spar to any of these two spars, because I have seen people crash because they made bad landing, broke part of the fuselage where the landing gear is attached, and this attachment broke the rear spar and wing folded. So we also wanted to avoid that. One of my friends died because of a bird strike. In this category, usually this is either Lexan 2 millimeters, very thin, or a plexiglass 3 to 3.5 millimeters, which then, when it's molded, when it's formed on the mold, becomes 1 millimeter here in the front. So you hit a weather balloon, you hit a bird, you die. There is no way out of that. You now hit a drone. There will be drones flying everywhere. And there will be planes crashing because of them, because people will have electrical engines from drones inside their head. Not important. Not important. Okay, if anybody wants to know the technical information, we are a little less than 10 meters across wings, 12 square meters, which is a lot for airplane that is 750. Useful load on standard airplane, not the airplane that you don't use any paint or you don't use any upholstery, or this is painted airplane with the parachute, with the constant speed prop, with everything. Fuel capacity is now standard 142 liters, and with an IS engine you can fly almost 10 hours on that. Performance. No, some statistics from the back. We flew, this is wrong, it's 31st of March 2011, 6 days before Friedrichshafen. We made the first flight. When prototype had, I think, 4 hours, I flew it to Friedrichshafen with 50 knots of wind over the Alps. Before that, I was not flying over 2,000 feet. Would I do it again? Of course not. We achieved this with extremely low budget and a lot of dedication from a lot of people that, if I would say names here, would take a lot of time. I thank them personally to each. It's a team that was around of this airplane of 30 people. We are constantly 5 to 6 people that are fully on the project. Without dedication of these people, I don't even know how we managed to survive, because we sold first airplane to a very passionate dentist from Austria. He was bothering me every day if he can buy the airplane when we were in Friedrichshafen. I said no, because it's not ready, this is not production, this is just a prototype. However, he was the first one who believed in us. He ordered one airplane, and always in the project it happened something like this, that something pushes you, or somebody pushes you. When your will to do anything and your motivation is on the ground, something happens. No? We had a flutter in the air while testing, made stupid decisions, we were tired, broke one aileron in the air, the other one was full up. Test pilot Sasha Knes from Slovenia was able to land this airplane with 130 knots on landing and brought the airplane down. He said to airplane, "Thank you, I will play with you again." And when I heard him on the radio, 5 minutes it took because he was on, I think, 15,000 feet or something like that. 5 minutes. I was lying on the grass and I'm not a believer in that sense of being a Christian, but I said, if this ends well, I will put it in the hangar, I will thank everybody and I will stop. When we had beer in the evening, we analyzed, we said it's a perfect airplane because no other airplane can bring a live pilot in such situation down. We went sailing and we continued after it. This was the worst event that we had. But since we did not have money for wind tunnel, you see how we were checking if aerodynamic works. Very basic, with cameras, with follow airplanes. So our budget for most of the stuff that we did was beer or vegetarian sandwich if the guy who was doing something didn't eat meat or something like that. We checked the design, for example, this is an airplane sitting in the hangar. We had a dedicated, this guy Max Pinucci, which worked also for a sandwich budget for a semi-famous designer. And he prepared so that we could decide how to, when there was a phase that we start to market the airplane, to decide what will look good on the airplane. This is not painted, this is projected in the dark. And this is how we chose, very low budget again. So in Slovenia we have this ability to help each other. And I would agree that you should be thankful if you work here. Of course it's not easy. Not with the authorities, not with partners, not with everybody, but I think it's the same all over the world. But you have many people that will work with you. You have many people that support you. At this time, I will give a word to our young engineer, because I would like also to use this opportunity for others to come forward. If you will have any questions regarding the project, I will still be sitting here when he will finish, and then Miran, who joined the company as a partner now for serial production, they both will say a few words. I thank you, and no.
Certification process at One Pro right now. The plane came with a little bit of miracle to this stage now, and we decided to put it to CSVLA certification. First we'll do the certification for two-seat aircraft, and then after the first TC approval we will expand this TC on +1 model. If everything will go well, we expect this first part of the certification to be finished by January 2018. Okay, so the certification will be done in basically like in two ways. The first one is paperwork, where we'll have to prepare all the papers for certification, and the other one is execution of tests, because all the tests which were done so far on the aircraft were done for the company to make sure that the product is good. And now we'll have to do these tests again for EASA to prove them that we did this the right way the first time. Okay, so the certification is split in 4 parts. First part is familiarization of the EASA with the plane. This part was finished, I think, last year. And basically, the purpose of it was to present the aircraft to EASA and to set agreement on TC plan and TC basis. Now we are in the second stage of the certification process, which is the preparation of all the paperwork, which is load analysis, preparation of test plans, and so on, which IASA will have a look on it and then confirm if it's okay. After that, we hope we'll get the approval of flight conditions, so that we'll be able to test this plane with IASA flight conditions in the air. This is the fourth part of the certification process, and it will probably take place in the next year, hopefully. And after then, it's basically the last stage, which is approval of IASA. If we'll pass all the exams, we'll get a TC for the basic configuration of one aircraft. And after that, if everything will be okay, we will continue with post-TC activities for +1 model. Okay, so now I will give word to Miran Stiran, which will present one pro company which will produce serial aircrafts.
Hello, my name is Miran Stiran. I'm the CEO of OnePro. I will just give you a short story how the whole company and the venture we did with this stock came about. There's not much on these slides, I guess. It was actually our company makes metal parts. We do sheet metal parts and housing and stuff like that. And when Istok, he was my friend before, I was also one of the customers of his airplane that he sold in the past. And we did some parts, and then of course I tried the airplane. It looks like a very fine product, which still is. And I believed in it, and we said, okay. We started to talk, a few beers and stuff, and on the end we said, look, like maybe we could do something together. And we did. Little did I know. So I said this would be a fine challenge for our company. Also maybe other than selling planes, it would bring some good image to the other company we have. Of course, a lot of people are fascinated with the building of the airplane. Of course, the people that know about the building of airplanes think that I'm an idiot, but that's something else. Okay, so we started. We did the joint venture 50-50. Istok's company who owns the design is 50%, and me and my partner are the other 50%. My part in the whole organization was doing the production part. So bringing the airplane from prototype to the production. So we started to do all the jigs stuff. We decided that we are not going to build all the big parts, that we are going to subcontract those, and that we are going to more or less just concentrate on the assembly. Our goal is to make an aeroplane in less than 300 hours when it comes to our production. Of course, all the lean production and everything is very fine, but you have to make airplanes in order to do that, and it's difficult if you're not selling any, because this is it's kind of a difficult product because it's 750 kilos, so it's difficult to sell it under LSA. It's impossible. We wanted to avoid going into the kits because the product, if you take a look at it, it's really finely made product. It's very high quality. And we wanted to keep this on all the airplanes that are flying, so we are only looking at kits that we know the builder, that we know how he's going to build it, and that it's going to be up to the standards that we desire. Now what we have here is more or less, we are trying to balance the certification part. We try to sell a bit. We are concentrating on the, let's say, on the countries where this kind of airplane can be brought legally into the air. Luckily for us, it's one of the countries it's really near. It's New Zealand and Australia. The rest is some European countries like Sweden, etc. Now, of course, we're trying to balance all the costs. We're trying to balance between what we can afford. We have to keep the costs down, so it's between how much certification we're going to do and how much we're going to invest further into development. And okay, now it started to move, lucky for us, so we are now at building number 6, and we have order for number 7, and I think some more of them will follow as far as we have from this. So it's looking good, and I still believe in the project. I still believe in this airplane because I don't think there is anything that can match it right now on the market, and it's the only one that has these capabilities for this price. I think.
Just one.
It's just one, yeah. It's one and only. Yeah. Thank you. If anybody's got some questions, I'll be happy to answer.
We had this question already, but
I'm just curious.
we were on the market sooner, we were present on Paris. So once we find that this could be a problem, we were already approached by attorney of law, how it's called, from US, if we want help, but for now, we don't seriously look as US as a market for us because we can sell only in experimental. Last year, 200 plus producers were fighting to sell 100 plus airplanes in LSA. So really, for now, why bother? Why even bother with that?
And you're not able to also on certified there?
Once we have CS VLA, depends on that time how FAA and IAOPA will like each other, then we will see.
Yeah, 750 kilos does not exist in the FAA.
So this is why then I really don't want to bother with US. There is enough of airplanes there anyway.
Also, maybe one thing.
If they like our airplane, they can buy a kit and build it.
Also, maybe one thing about CSVLA, IASA, and the difference between FAA. FAA and LSA, it's a law. It's hard to change. It's impossible to change unless you change the law. With the IASA, it's still possible. I mean, it's possible. If you can prove that you're okay, you can go from the basis, which means for the VLA, it's I think that's 45 max stall speed. 2 seats, data VFR 750 kilos. But you can go, and there are already been some certifications into IFR, maybe nighttime IFR and 3rd seat. This is all possible with the VLA, and it's very flexible. Okay, it's still you have to prove all kinds of stuff and whatever you're going to put in it, but this is very good.
No, but this what Miran said, nah? It's 2 plus 1, it's already a special condition. Night flying, it's already a special condition.
Yeah.
IFR in VMC is not, but it will probably be sooner because we now go for basic certification, just 2 people, they VFR, 1 engine. So it means because on the advice of EASA, we chose this configuration to get the TC as soon as possible. What we traded off is that we chose a turbo engine instead of some lower one, but this will bring us credits later than we add weaker engines. It will be simple. If we would choose stronger engine, then it's complicated. You have to repeat and do all kinds of tests. Nah? So what we want to do is have a marketable product as soon as possible. I am sure that if we will not be able to find a way how to sell it as is today, there is no future. Because it's not, there is not, I was in Prague now on an EASA meeting, and they were educating us how to make certification better and faster and so on. But what they don't understand is that during the certification, you must have extremely high budget to come to certification. In reality, nobody can design an airplane sooner than 5 years with unlimited budget. I think it's not realistic. Then you have with of course having the actual category design that you want to certify in mind, that you are doing that. Of course, in ideal conditions, you start certification as soon as you start development of the airplane, when you have just plans. Nobody does that because you don't know if you have compliant airplane. Even now, many of the companies who are doing LSA, they will not get it because the design itself it's not compliant with the category, period. It does not match the criteria. And this, because people say certification is expensive, it's extremely cheap. They say millions of euros. No, if you have compliant design, it's just 6,000 plus some euros for EASA. 6,000 something.
Yeah, and something for the test.
And something for the test, but if this would be 100,000 euros if all goes well. This is how much money you need actually. So don't believe all the people. But when design is non-compliant, and our airplane can also prove to be non-compliant in, I don't know, spins in configuration 242, which is aileron right, flap down, I don't know what. In one situation you find the airplane non-compliant. And that does not make it marketable product. We must swim in this lake that is chosen for us. Some of this is not logical where you have to certify. But what I appealed to those people is to have reason, but you always appeal to bureaucrats who have no power anyway, because what you meet on meetings are people who have no lever to do anything. So you have to shout really loud, really long, that somebody hears you. Is to allow a company that has come to a certain point to sell airplanes for non-commercial activity, to have some balance between the experimental self-built airplanes and if you are in the stage of certification. Because if you have a phase 1 that you achieved, static tests work well, you have made basic spins, airplane is stable and so on, you have tested the VNE plus 15, you have tested much more than half of the fleet that is flying in Europe today with experimental. Most of the airplanes that you see taking off in Slovenia today is ultralights or experimental that have very, very basic tests done on them because the requirements are so much lower.
I don't agree on this.
Huh?
I don't agree on this. The standards actually are no longer what it used to be. The difference between ultralight and certified aircraft is no longer that big of a difference, except of the quality control system of...
I had a company with national certificate in Slovenia. We had a producer certificate and we had a certificate to produce type certified airplane. And now, when we go to EASA system, it's so completely different story that I cannot even compare.
I was the president of my brother's company, which is a known aircraft manufacturer called Aquila Aviation. You probably heard of them. We were a certified EFA aircraft. We were certified in FAA in the United States. And I had an experience with both of them, FAA as well as EASA, and as well as certified aircraft manufacturing. And I can tell, actually, from what I have experienced in this company and with EASA and with the FAA and with the German authorities, actually the LBA in Germany for manufacturing certification, and what we are doing with the German authorities of certifying aircrafts here, there is not a big
I believe the German authority.
There is not a big difference anymore. So
German authority, I would agree, because we also work with them and German authority, because mostly the experts are coming from Austro Control anyway. Any other question, or should?
Continuing on this certification process, we always have to do the same for certification. I work for flight testing activity in Houston, and if I can add something, we finished the certification, and they say that there will be a value. What I can say is that we were starting from an ultralight product that was already produced in more than 200 pieces. already certified, let's say, your airframe within, so you did all the ground tests and flight tests before, you might have already an airframe that will go through the certification process in one shot, so everything will go so much straightforward. But at least from our experience, this has been more like an iteration between ground test and flight test, because you might complete all your ground tests and then you go flying and you discover that there is a small amount of flies, and then you have to do some modification to the airplane, and this leads to maybe you have to reboot some ground tests, and it's like an iteration, and that when you find a showstopper like this, you can relabel your project right. You can most easily by going more to small detail. I'm sure if you did everything before, it might be that you go just through the certification process very quickly, but might be not the case. And as you see around other LSA producers, they all face the same problems. We are talking with our school guys, they already have 700 dynamics down out there flying, and they are also facing a lot of problems when it came to the other certification. This is also to the aviation guide. It is not the same thing. I would say it's different.
Maybe you misunderstood me. I know that we will find on our way a lot of showstoppers. I was speaking about ideally, if you have a compliant design, not our design. I smell where non-compliance is. And I'm not idolizing, but I'm saying if a producer would choose a category, would from the start have somebody, we are not trying to fit in. But if from the day one you start with first compliance check in mind, nobody does that. This is the reality. This is why the certification is expensive also for you and also will be for us. I don't expect miracles. I expect the same road that you have or many others.
Okay.
Of finding non-compliance.
Okay. Thank you very much, Istok, for this. We have still more materials. Who says there is no young people in the aviation today? Low budget, high spirit. I hope you will continue later during the drink.